fellow Earthlings, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I just kind of wanted to do a personal introduction to this episode. A thank you. It's kind of a year-end episode. There's going to be two more episodes in the year, and Freedom Rain is going to be my guest wrapping up the year. I met him on the Stereo app, and I'll read his bio right here. Freedom Rain, Oakland, California, music, poetry, elementary teacher in graphic design, individual thinker and destroyer of narratives. We get into it about why education is not free in the U.S. This is going to be a great podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all the listeners from throughout the world. We've got listeners from India, the United Kingdom, Canada, Romania, the Netherlands, Russia, Thailand, the Czech Republic, and many more. Thank you so much. I am humbled. All right, let's get into it. Found what I was looking for. Okay, so here's the Google Career Certificates. Flexible online training. Complete a Google Career Certificate at your own pace and time. Learn job-ready skills with a Google Career Certificate. Enroll today. Prepare for a new career. There you go.
Okay.
Google Career Certificates.
Yeah,
Hey,
go work for the elite. Go work for the machine, right. You traitors to humankind. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
All right. We got the goddess Eva Shea, the nomad, in the building. What it do?
So I live in Tennessee, and community college is free, but regular college, even public college, is freaking expensive. And I feel like it's because it's one of those easily exploitable fields where we can just stuff it down these kids' throats that they need to go to college and then inflate the price of textbooks and the price of tuition as much as we damn well please, because there's no tuition roof like there's a rent roof in New York.
Right.
So college is free. College is not free for the same reason that healthcare is not free.
Say it.
But hey guys, hi Freedom, hi.
Hey.
And Anthony.
Hey now, sing it, sister. Yeah, what she said.
Absolutely.
Same reason. I said that earlier. So same reason. It's the same mechanism.
You did say that.
It really is.
Same reasoning, same mechanism. And like for me, I went to Berkeley City College, which is a community college. It's free. They changed its name. It used to be Vista. But to get your associate's arts and to do that 2-year transfer, you know, it's a great place to start. But if you really want to go somewhere and get something, again, you're going to have to pay at a state or a private institution. You can't just, to do 4 to 6 years in community college is almost unheard of. Everybody transfers either after 2, 3, or 4 years into something more. So that's a great point.
Because they won't have the classes that you really need to get you into a career, that you can get an entry level position.
Exactly.
But that's it, right? Yep. And it's even kind of jacked how our system isn't orchestrated for one to feed you to the next, right? It should be like a seamless transition for somebody who wants to go all the way to PhD, but it's not. A buddy of mine's just trying to transfer in the same city, trying to transfer from the JC to the state, right? And the JC counselor is like, oh yeah, this class will totally fulfill your transfer requirements. Then he goes to the state and they're like, oh hell no, that won't. Like,
wow,
what? Come on.
And I just wasted 3 years of my life.
He could have. Luckily, he went and double checked.
Oh, he went right away. Nice.
But if he would have taken the classes and just thought like, oh sweet.
Sorry, those credits are not transferable.
No, that wasn't your science requirements. Those count as electives. Hope you enjoyed it.
And then good. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just never stop.
Right.
Can't stop. I won't stop.
Can't stop. May the poet.
Oh, but wait a minute. On the East Coast, there is such a thing as a apprenticeship program. Friend of mine did human services as her major. Part of the class requirements is that you did voluntary work at a prison, I'm not kidding, or a hospital to achieve your credit for the class. that turned into a job after graduation if you stayed with the human resources program or childcare or whatever she was looking into. It turned out she decided to stay with it, and she's been working with childcare ever since. Now, I'm not sure what the West Coast does about this because I've only been living here 21 years and I'm way past the school requirement. But you're right. Some parts of the country need to open that door. Because you went to school for this and it's your passion, you should have a job in that field, no doubt.
Right. Hey, you throwing shade at the West Coast, blood? You turf banging on me, homie? What's up, man? Right? You got the West Coast fucked up. No, I'm just playing. Let's keep going.
She's from New York, but we won't hold that against her.
We're not gonna hold that against her, even though it's West Side till I die. Well, actually, that's kind of a tragic thing to say. That means you're gonna live on the West Coast for your whole life. Why don't you move around a bit? I want to go to New Zealand. All right, sorry.
That might be West too, though.
Yeah, it's probably the West Coast of New Zealand. Great point.
Right. There you go.
All right. Eva, Shay, talk to us.
So I sort of think we should just stop pushing kids to go to college generally and push them to go towards like trade schools and like code camps and things like that to fill jobs here. Great. And that will naturally bring tuition down, wouldn't it, by means of supply and demand? Because, you know, tuition is so high because there's an endless demand and they can put whatever price tag they want on it. And also, as far as like me, like I graduated with a lot of debt. Luckily, I graduated with like an IT degree, so I didn't have to worry as much about jobs. But it's really not fair to just make college free. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. So I think that there should be like a blanket credit for education. And if you already completed your education, you should get that. So whether or not you paid off your debt, you're getting that credit, almost like a stimulus check.
That's a good idea. But I mean, but I still want to hold true to like, I think if, you know, quote unquote free college, nothing's free, right? So it would be an investment in our country's future, and not only in jobs, but helping people, you know, achieve a better life and like achieve personal fulfillment, right? Like imagine if you could, you know, get a master's degree and it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. You know, if it didn't cost you anything, you know, imagine that.
I really like your idea of that rebatable education credit. Like I've already spent it, I've already done mine. Let me just run that back in the rollover. Like that makes sense. And I also really like what you said about trade schools and these internships, these code camps, because especially those are really great ways. And I did a code camp myself for Java. Those are really good ways. And you're right also that's a way you can play capitalism against the school system. It's like, hey, you got a long line of people who are willing to pay whatever the fuck you say for intuition. Well, what if we all decide to go to camps and get jobs? Then we don't need, low tuition. And I think that's a great idea too. I still think that just like we were saying for like a defined career path, there should still be opportunities for free education into those apprenticeships, into those work fields. And I think there should still be college debt elimination. But
and I even think the apprenticeships should be paid so that you could be making a living doing what you want to do for a living.
Yeah. Right? Oh, Eva Shay, can you say why? I don't think you said why, but specifically, why do you not think college should be free? Huh? I'm gonna challenge you there. I want to see what you say. Because you motherfucking freeloaders are taking up all our space. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's because what you said earlier, because she paid.
Right. And now you're essentially funding her competition to go for free without all that shit to pay. So let us know. We're trying to see what's up.
Curious
Mike Allen. This is the man right here, Mike Allen. You know what I'm saying? That Alliance News Network thing.
Hey, what's up, y'all boys?
What's up, man?
Hope you guys are good. Hope your families are safe.
Yes, me too.
Shout out to my boy Freedom Rain, one of the good teachers out there. All teachers should be like this guy. Shout out to your good teachers in your community. Freedom Rain, keep doing your thing, man.
Appreciate you, brother Mike Allen.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Mike Allen, for the wonderful message, and I want to second that. Thank you, Freedom Reign, for fighting the good fight. You know, you could
I
be
appreciate
doing a
it,
lot of
man.
things, but he chose to be teaching our next generation the most important things, and you hear what he's talking about. So he's clearly that's going to trickle into, you know, into those little people's lives here and there, little by little by little by little.
Oh
So
yeah.
bless you for that.
I appreciate it. That actually, quite a few talks ago, I did a talk with Belle, who used to be on here, and they gave me, Stony and her gave me some questions to ask my students. Maybe by the end of this talk, the listeners, or you and I could come up with a couple of questions to ask them to see what they think about this. Last time they blew the audience's mind. These kids are freaking next level, man. I'm so proud and
Oh, I
honored
bet.
to be
Right.
teaching this generation. So I think that could be interesting. Ask them what they think about college.
That's a great idea.
Okay, let's see who we got. May the poet.
Okay, so you came back from pandemic. School's been closed last year. Do you see any significant changes in the student that might have been online at home doing schoolwork, might have been put to schoolwork by a parent who said, no, my kid's not going to sit around and play video games all day and watch television all day. There's going to be some hard studying time. Do you think that made any difference? Because I think shutting down the schools was a really rough deal, not just for the kids, but for the teachers. I can't imagine like how they're handling it now. Just the short attention span. I can't imagine how it's going on now in schools now. And we're talking end of the year, Christmas holiday coming.
Girl.
Summer's going to be around the corner here in Vegas soon. I can't imagine how that's all working.
Yeah, great question. So honestly, some teachers it was really hard on. For me, distance learning was amazing. It was great. It was really good for me. But to answer your question about the students, I think one of the things that really worked is, for example, we'd meet up at 8:15 in the morning, right? You'd have to be in front of your little Zoom camera on. There was this rule you had to be dressed for school, which I thought, I was like, wow, shoes and everything. And they were like, well, obviously not shoes. But so you have to be dressed for school, sitting upright. So then we'll have our class meetings. We'll explain what the assignments of the day are and show it to them on the digital application Seesaw. And then what was really cool is till about 9, the meeting is over. You can turn your camera off and work independently, right? So kids aren't having to sit there. And so, of course, parents are managing what they do. So you go, you get work done. I'm having conferences and meetings with these kids. Like, say yours is at 9:15, the next kids is at 9:30, the other kids is at 9:45. So you're just basically working on your own until we meet. Then we come again together again in the afternoon about 1 o'clock to 1:30. Have another meeting. Say, oh, I got this assignment from you. This is good. A little feedback here. Maybe we watch a video. And so I thought that was really cool because kids were able to manage their own autocracy. I mean, automate. Oh, I can't even talk right now. They were able to automate their own schedule and do their own thing. And for some students, it worked really well. Some students, we weren't getting shit turned in. And we talked to the parents, be like, yo, they're not doing anything. So I think it worked for most kids. A lot of parents and people were thinking that the test scores were going to be really low. They actually tested pretty well during distant learning. But the final part of your question is, girl, when we first come back from any summer break, the first two weeks of school are always crazy, right? Because kids have been, they miss their friends. They've been able to do what they want. There's some slide back. I have to admit that it is going on to winter break. Okay. We are 3 months in and it still feels like the first 2 weeks. So kids are having a hard time readjusting to that. It's healthy in a sense because they're excited, but they're kind of all over the place. And the thing that's the worst, and you'll probably be surprised by this, the worst thing is TikTok. I hate to say it. I'm actually doing a talk with Real Talk all day about this, but TikTok culture is fucking crazy. These kids have been going into the bathrooms. Don't sass your head at me. And another thing, your avatar is giving me the sassy head. Don't do that.
Oh no, I don't like. I'm right there with you.
I'm just kidding. Dude, these kids are going in the bathroom, ripping the soap dispensers off the wall, pouring Kool-Aid on the toilet seats to make it look like blood, just doing all these TikTok challenges that they've been seeing over the summer and just couldn't wait to try. So they're destroying mad property, yo. And I thought this was just at our school, but it's everywhere. So there are some things with online and TikTok, especially culture, that kids are kind of, too much in front of them screens, man. So yeah, it's give and take. Yeah. I'll admit.
Yeah, teenagers will be teenagers at a certain point, because I mean, when I was a kid, it was way before TikTok, but we would throw like M80s in the toilets
and break the bowl, huh?
Oh, the toilet would explode, flood the whole bathroom or the locker room, whatever.
Yeah, we used to do douche-tacular stuff too. So maybe TikTok.
I think it's part of being like 15 and having testicles. It's a curse, man.
I agree, but I think the TikTok thing about it is you're absolutely right. We did those same kind of things, but TikTok defines what a trend is. So it's really unfortunate.
Now it's like hip to do it.
Yeah, it's a whole campaign. Like you'll have 2 or 3 kids in a month who would do something like throw a smoke bomb in the cafeteria or something. But when it's a trend, the same thing will happen 3, 4, 5 times a week. And I'm like, oh my God, like be original, kids. Yeah, exactly. College should not be free. Fuck that. They don't deserve it. They've been real shits this year. No, I'm just kidding. Let's keep going. We got Mind Fox in the building.
Motherfuckers were guaranteed 72 virgins in heaven if they gave up the heart.
Bro.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Bro. On the mob.
Awesome Sauce Radio a year or so ago did a show called Virtual Advice Bots. And one of the stories that we talked about was a guy, they wanted to make an app. They wanted to take his consciousness, all of his stories and all these various lives he's lived, old guy, war veteran, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And they wanted to make him AndyBot. And there's furthermore another story we did, other companies that will digitize grandma, and you can have a monthly subscription to talk to. I mean, it's subjective what the fucking consciousness is, but no, we're doing this right now. There's the movie where, who was it, Johnny Depp uploaded himself into a computer? No, bro, we're doing that right now.
Believe it. Digigram. Hey, Grandma.
That Digigram, no.
She's
Grandma.
Always with you.
Oh my God. Hey. The nightmare story of that is, in the new game Watch Dogs Legion, they've uploaded this person's consciousness into the AI, but to make it a service robot like Siri, they inhibited various parts of their personality just to get them to be more like an AI. So to that person's perspective, you're literally reprogramming them. And so I don't think that if that happens and they program my brain into a computer, I honestly don't think that my spiritual and or human perception will go inside the computer, which I think is what a lot of people are hoping. Oh, I can live forever. I think it's literally just a copy of you and you die as usual. Peace. You're gone.
I agree.
But there's something
your life goes with your soul, but I still don't want them to use my voice.
I don't want them to use my likeliness, bro. Like, I don't know. You know, maybe if you're like a Jurassic Park guy. What'd you say?
I'll take it out with me. My voice is it's going down right now. I'm gonna give myself a Joe Pesci.
You lost me.
Hand me a pen.
Should have took care of the real me, motherfucker. All right, let's go. Mind fuck.
I just recently this week learned that the guy who wrote the movie I, Robot, well, he didn't write the movie, he wrote a book a long time ago, not only coined the term robot, but was involved in the very first robot.
Wow.
What do you call it? Is that programming? Is that writing? I'm gonna take my answer off the air.
Wow.
I'll take my answer off the air.
He's a pioneer in the field. I hope they downloaded his brain. That would be pretty dope if he becomes the first world's robot. My avatar is doing freaky eyebrows to somebody in the audience. My avatar is attracted to one of you guys. By the way,
apparently our avatars move now. I haven't seen it happen.
That's why I was saying your head was sassing me earlier. You're doing the
it was
boyfriend. Yeah, you were sassing me.
Oh, I was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Snapping too.
Snaps. And I was doing sexy eyebrows. Shout out to Vidania, who's been here since the beginning. Eva Shea, thanks for being here and dropping hella comments and challenging us. Thank you, adorable, deplorable. Celeste and Nina. We're gonna get through some more of y'all ditties. Appreciate y'all being here for this conversation.
Thank you for hanging out.
Lil Roddy.
When you guys get a chance, I don't know if you keep up with Star Trek, but if you remember Data, he's got a brother named Lore who had a special chip inserted, and they had to disassemble him because he was kind of just turning out.
Yo, I don't know about his brother, but I remember when that episode where Data got the emotion emulation chip, and he was so funny, bro. It was hilarious. Data with emotion was hilarious, bro.
What happened to the last part of his message? I think he was going to say that the robot started acting out against humans like we were talking about.
Oh, is that why it cut off? Maybe it's not so funny.
Maybe not so funny to the overlords, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Big Brother's watching.
Eva shit.
So in my 2 years as a developer, my job was essentially to take people's jobs. And I say that to say that I feel like a lot of our jobs are going to be null and void, and they kind of already are in a way. I mean, we see it when we go to Walmart. We see it like when we order something from Amazon and a robot is picking it from the shelves for us, right? Damn. So I almost feel like jobs are almost just like a means to keep people busy right now, especially when you look at like the full-time work week, because with our advancements in technology, we really shouldn't have to work full-time when you think about it. And I think like as we progress as a society, we're going to have to fight to make sure that this advance in technology shortens the work week instead of like making a huge gap between the rich and the poor, you know, because like the Jetsons, you know, they had all this technology, and because of that, they didn't have to work anymore. That didn't result in like this crazy dystopian society that we're headed towards.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like Sweden has already moved to a 6-hour workday. And they already have free education and healthcare.
Okay.
Right? So they're way ahead of us, right? And they figured out what we were talking about earlier, that you shorten the workday. We were talking about in school terms, but it applies in both. You shorten the workday and you actually get increased productivity because you get less hours where people are fucking off on Facebook, on their computer, or whatever, right? I mean, even in construction, like there would be people, we'd be hanging out at the clock 15 minutes before, waiting to punch out.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
That's a quarter of an hour, 5 days a week.
Yeah. Just wasting
like,
the company's money and wasting your life. Both.
Right. And this was 170 employees, all just like you look around, everybody's doing it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be a sucker and punch out now.
The thing
I'm not going to be I'm not going to be the only guy with his saw going, right? No, that's not going to be me. Everybody else is sitting around. Okay.
The thing I got from that message is that Eva Shea the Nomad is a robot. She's an artificial intelligence sent. She's taking people's jobs. She speaks code, and she doesn't give a fuck if college should be free.
She's cool with it.
No, and she's cool. But actually, I honestly agree with her. It's like I feel two ways, right? Like everybody should, of course, have the right to work. If you want to work, fuck it, go work. And there should be jobs available. We still need jobs that have the human element, right? And I think teaching may be one of them. Look at me trying to say
many
my
of
job.
There's many jobs like that.
There's many of them. But she's absolutely right that just like you guys were both saying about the work week being shorter, this Rockefellerian system of school and work where we're being pushed into factories and judged by our outcomes, and our worth is determined by what we produce, and we're slaves trying to put food on the table, barely matching the cost of living, is ridiculous. And as speaking from somebody, one of the teachers who love distant learning, I'm definitely not going to want to be complain and say, no, we need to physically go in and do physical work. So I absolutely agree with her. Example, the Amazon workers who were really stressed out at the beginning of the quarantine because so much was depending on them. They were getting penalized for taking too many bathroom breaks, and they weren't getting paid well enough. Those jobs, sure, automate them. And then, especially if college is free, those people then have the option to go get schooling and doing a job that requires human element that they're really compassionate about. So she's right. The jobs that AI can take, I say take them. I think some Uber drivers are really concerned that driving automated cars are going to take their jobs. But I kind of want to ask them, well, what would you be doing right now if you had a universal basic income and you didn't have to be working right now? But a lot of people...
So you just led me right there. I was saying that leads to UBI because they gotta have a UBI to be able to afford to go to school to be able to do what they want to do. But we're so stuck in doing what we have to do that most people don't even have the luxury of thinking about what they want to do. Right.
Well, so some people equate UBI with tyranny. They're saying, well, if you have, that's the government giving you food, money to eat, and deciding how much you make and deciding you can't work. So you're right that there is
bullshit.
Again, if I want to work,
it's just a check in the mailbox. That's all.
And
that's it. It's just a check in the mailbox, man. And if you don't want it, you don't have to take it. But that's literally all that it is. And we give Israel $4 billion a year, so just don't trip and just take it.
Don't trip and just take it. Like low floor, high ceiling. Like if you just stay home and get your UBI, and that's the level of comfort and you want to live, fine. But if you're still ambitious and you want to exercise your right of free, independent marketing and competition, you can still go out and get jobs and you can make more money than the UBI. Nobody's limiting you. It's just funny that some people equate UBI with tyranny. Like the government
and UBI wouldn't. Yeah, because UBI has nothing to do with like welfare, where like if you get a job, then you don't get your UBI. No, you get the UBI no matter what.
And then people are going to say, well, and another thing, who's paying for it? It's coming out of my tax dollars, you freeloader.
No, it's not. It's coming from wealthy people and corporations who haven't been paying their fair share since like 1950.
Oh, well, they're job creators, okay? They do
bullshit. The most of the jobs in the U.S. come from small business owners.
That's true. I heard that.
Meaning like you starting a tutoring business after work, or so imagine if you were like a music teacher, you teaching piano lessons on the weekends. Those kind of things. That's the biggest driving force of our economy is small businesses.
Despite what they tell
us. Right. They always tell us this bullshit about Walmart and Home Depot. Well, yeah, they can pay like wages that you can't survive on because they're job creators. Well, what good is it to create a job that somebody can't survive on?
Can't survive off of. That's a great point. And a lot of these
there's no net gain there.
Yeah, no net gain. And a lot of these huge corporations we're talking about that they often come in defense with, it's a lot of these companies that have huge offshore. Not only are the wealthy people offshore banking, but these people have offshore jobs. And I agree. Having a huge job market in India and China isn't bad for India and China. I think that's fine, except pay them fair wages too. Don't specifically go to those countries. If you want to say, hey, I'm opening a plant in India and China to create more jobs for that community, blah, 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 blah. First of all, do it in more impoverished countries. I think China's doing pretty well right now. India has a huge population. Sure,
they're lapping up.
They're lapping up. But here's the thing, though. Pay them fair wages. Don't do it with the motivation being the same thing that happens to our undocumented workers in the U.S. Let me hire them at pennies on the dollar. Don't
perpetuate the idea of slavery. Dude, I've been saying this for decades. If an American company wants to go abroad, fine. But you have to pay an American minimum wage.
Yes. Oh, my God.
So $15 an hour. Fine, you want to take
all those children stuffed in a warehouse making Nikes, but they like, bitch, I'm getting paid. They're coming home with fucking $50 yen. Well, our dollar
buying
isn't
houses.
what it used to be.
They'd
buying
be
houses.
buying houses.
They'd
be creating a middle class.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, fine. But we're not going to just like export slavery around the world. Fuck no. And so that's the carrot, right? But the stick is, well, do you want the U.S. military to protect your corporation? I bet you do. I bet you do.
Do you want us to, take away all those and not have the UN or the embassy step in on your behalf, and you're just one of the citizens there? Nope, I bet you don't.
Yeah. Good luck with your Good luck with your McDonald's franchise in Nigeria without a little protection, right?
Right. All right, let's go. Adorable, deplorable.
Hey, what it do? This is the Gay Republican tuning into you. Good evening, happy Saturday. Dave, Freedom Reign. This is Astereo's Adorable, Deplorable in the house. Just dropping an initial message here, show you guys some love and support for an amazing conversation to rebuild America's economy in a way that offers everyone an equal chance to get ahead. Federal support for free college tuition should be a priority in any economic recovery plan. Research has shown that the private and public economic benefit of free community college would outweigh the cost, which is why half of the states, including conservative states like Tennessee, already have some form of free college tuition.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. We're actually moving towards that, right? Like now the place I'm at, I think all of California, the first 2 years is free. But that also presents a problem though, like the woman earlier mentioned, then what? Are you done? Like did it lead to a job? Like what happens
Right.
Then?
Right. And take care of that college debt. There's so many people out there crippled by debt, and corporations love that. Because you're using all kinds of services to consolidate your debt, to pay off your debt, to make more loans. Banks love it because they can hit your broke ass with that insufficient fee fund. Now they getting paid and you're getting poorer. Then the credit, you need to fix your credit. Yeah.
And there's precedence for it. It's an industry that's corrupt and monopolized. So,
right.
Needs to be, the student debt industry needs to be broken up, and you should just eliminate all the debt.
Right, just like those private prisons, just like you said, the same reasons healthcare is not free. It's like you're right. It's the same class benefiting from this, and that's that ultra rich corporations that are viewed as people in our law.
All right, thanks for tuning into another episode and Another Thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and Another Thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.